Hello, Starseed Light Warriors. Welcome back to Spiritual Growth Journey. This is literally my third time making this video. The first time the power went out and it wiped out, and I had made like almost the whole video. It was like I had been making it for like a good hour, and then the power went out and I lost the entire recording. It went bye-bye. So then I remade it again about 10-15 minutes ago, and my camera just quit. It just quit. So I had to take it off it was a USB plug-in camera, and it just died. So now I'm on the main computer camera, and I am praying to Father, Mother, God that this time this video works. Please, 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 please. Third time's a charm. I'm hoping it works. I look really fuzzy. The color is totally weird on here. I apologize. It's a cheap ass, camera because it's on my laptop computer, because the other one, the fancy schmancy one, broke. And what's really weird is when the power went out to my whole house, the whole house went out. 88 houses total went out. I called up to report it to the power company, and they said 88 houses in your area are without power. That's kind of interesting number, 88. I actually used to sing with a band back in the 80s called 88. It was a cover band. It was an 80s pop music cover band, and I sang with them. Not all the time. I just sang a few songs. I'd come up and sing when they had female songs, because they mostly did a lot of male stuff that I couldn't sing. But if they did Pat Benatar or Heart or something like that, I would, or, one of the female singers, I would go up and I would do that. And that was before I trained to be an opera singer. So back in the day, I used to be able to sing pop music and rock, and then I changed my voice completely with the opera, and now I can only sing very vibrato-y, operatic, and classical music. So, welcome back to my channel, and I am just going to give you all a disclaimer. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Today's video is going to be shocking, controversial, and might push some buttons. It will be some of the most controversial information I've shared with y'all in a very long time. Please hang in there. You may want to take notes. Do not have children watch this video. This video is very bad for children. This is not a children video. So do not have them watch the video. And also do not share this video with people who are unawake, because they will flip out. You will scare them, maybe make them sick, give them nightmares. Don't share this with people who are not awake. Okay, we're going to be going over some kind of scary truth here about our planet that isn't scary for you at all, because you guys are awake. So you're not going to be scared. You're going to be informed. But people who have never heard of this stuff before might be freaking out, or they might think I'm a lunatic, or whatever. So don't share it with them. That's all I have to say. That's my request. So how this video came about is my soul sister Mikala and Yeshua were talking to me yesterday, and Yeshua told me to help me with all my back pain and just issues I'm going through in my life, just like everyone else, because I'm a human right now in a human body. He wanted me listening to classical music and opera music, and also singing opera every day. Because when I do that, it puts me into a high heavenly vibration, because that music came directly from heaven. And I'll talk more to you about that in a few minutes as we go through all these pages and pages of notes. But what happened is, after I took their advice, I started listening to Pavarotti, my favorite opera singer, who's in heaven now. And when I was listening to him, I started to get downloads. I started to get lots and lots and lots of downloads. And I very strongly, my higher self said, you're going to do a video all about this. And this is the kind of video I have not done in a very long time. But this is important information that needs to get out. And I'm going to be reading through tons. I was up till 1 in the morning writing these notes out. So bear with me, you guys. It's going to take me a while to get through all this. And then when I'm done getting through all this, I'm going to give you guys all a heart healing with my voice. I will be using my voice. Hopefully my family doesn't come home. Right now they're not home. And I'm going to be using my voice and my lovely 432 hertz tuning fork here. We'll be using that. If you can hear that, make sure it's musician thing turned on here. Yeah, it's turned on. Okay, good. Anyways, we'll be using that and my voice, and I'm going to be doing a heart chakra healing and clearing for y'all. So, all right, so let's get down to this. So today the topic, which came through to me, and how it came through is I was listening to Pavarotti, and immediately I heard this voice in my head say, when he sings, the reason that I feel it so deeply in my soul is because he is singing from his heart and from his soul. And every time he would sing from his heart and his soul. And that's why you could see him just perspiring away and looking like he was like doing a massive workout on stage. He was really working hard when he would sing, and he was putting, like, you could see he was putting all his love, all his passion, all his energy, all of his, prana, everything into his singing. And that is how opera singers perform. Opera and classical music are the music of heaven. That is what the angels sing. The angels sing opera and classical music. And they play classical music in heaven. When Lucifer came to earth, and he got into the big war in heaven with all the archangels and everyone, he turned on God. He was a music angel, and what happened is he turned against God, and he made a decision that not only was he going to destroy all the humans on earth, but he was going to especially pervert all the music as well. So he's been working really hard throughout the centuries to pervert the music as much as he can. But the music sung in the cathedrals all over the world and in the holy places, just the different holy places, whether it's a Buddhist temple and it's chanting monks or whatever, that sacred music, he has never been able to touch. And that is because it comes from God, through the crown chakra into the people, the humans here who are creating it, and the people who are singing it and chanting it. It is all heart-derived, spirit-derived, love-derived, and godly-derived. And so what I was told today was I am doing this video on what is called reptilian influenced creation. And I'm not talking about creating like children. I'm talking about creating things, creating music, creating entertainment, creating a car, creating a new bicycle, creating a food product, creating a drug, creating employment or a job, creating a school system, creating government. So we are going to talk today about reptilian influenced creating versus heart-centered, love-based, spirit-based creation. Okay? So you may want to get your paper and pen out, because here we go. We got a lot to go over. I gotta try to adjust my back here. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna do the best I can. Just trying to sit back as best as I can on my chair here. to support myself really well. So, reptilian influence creation is creating or expressing from the reptilian brain and or sometimes from the sexual organs, believe it or not. And it is also, it's not just coming from the reptilian brain, but sometimes it can be influenced by reptilians or by demons or by negative things. And that is versus creating from your heart chakra or creating from love and heart-centered passion, joy, service to others, Holy Spirit, God, spiritual connection. They're two totally different ways of creating on the planet Earth, okay? So reptilian influence creation is focused on money, wealth, in particular materialism, lust, greed, jealousy, competition, service to self, fame, power, satanic or dark negative focus, destruction of earth or humanity, mind control, using it, creating something to use for mind control, creating for the purpose of enslavement of humanity, for controlling humans, for abusing humans, creating for the purpose of abuse, creating for the purpose of to traumatize or to harm any animal, any person, or anything. Reptilian creation is devoid, or reptilian creating is devoid of all Holy Spirit, all soul, all heart chakra, and God. There is no heart chakra involved. Reptilians do not have a heart chakra. Okay? So now, heart-centered creation, or love or spirit-centered creation, also is connected with the divine feminine and masculine, whereas reptilian brain creating out of the reptilian brain only, or creating because you're being influenced by reptilian forces or dark forces, malevolent archons, demons, whatever, that type of creating or sexual creation comes from the toxic male and female, the disconnected, and sometimes the MK Ultra. So there's people that are like under MK Ultra mind control out there that are doing creating of things, like in the entertainment industry, for example. All of the people who do this type of creating are totally disconnected from God's source creator. Heart and soul-centered creation is always natural and organic. Reptilian creating is inorganic, like artificial intelligence. That comes from that. Also, heart and AI also comes from, of course, the AI gods, the Borg-like beings, and it also comes from the Greys. It comes from the reptilians from Alpha Draconis. There are many types of races of reptilians. Some are good, some are bad, but the ones on this earth that took it over, they're from Alpha Draconis, and they are all bad. They are bad. I'll get more into that later. Also, heart-centered creating is based on real talents and real gifts that you were given when you came into your human avatar. Like I told you about mine. Communicating. So examples would be ability to be a really good artist, like a Van Gogh or a Monet, or a composer like a Mozart, or a musician like a Mozart, or a teacher like myself, or a writer like myself, or a communicator. Basically, those gifts and talents are not typically not typically, I say not typically because there are probably some reptilian kind of driven creators out there that do have some talent that they were born with, but typically most of them do not, because that talent does come from source. And usually, like I said, if you are somebody who was born connected to source and you're not born, into the dark cult or to be eventually a dark cult member or whatever, your gifts came from God. And if you switch from, let's say, half your life or all your life, you're using these gifts, or you have these gifts and you're doing good things with it, and one day you decide to be an a-hole and you decide to do evil with it, God will literally snuff those gifts out. He's told me repeatedly that if I ever use my gifts to lie or harm anyone or do anything bad, that they will be cut off. Okay? The beings who are being reptilian controlled or demonic controlled, or they just have this reptilian brain that they're in all the time, and they don't have their crown chakras cut off, their heart chakra doesn't exist. They're going to continue creating, but it's just a whole other ballgame. So reptilian-based creation involves hijacking or stealing others' talents and ideas. Like when they ripped off Nikola Tesla, they killed him first, and then they ripped him off. And then, they rip off a lot of people's ideas. I've had my ideas stolen over and over again by other fake spiritual people in the spiritual community. There's a lot of phony spiritual teachers and phony psychics and phony card readers and all that out there. Phony prophets, false prophets, lots of them. And they love stealing the ideas from people like me because they are in their reptilian brain. They are cut off from source, from creator. So reptilian-based creating is when they hijack and steal from others talents, ideas, creations for themselves, or they pretend they have a gift or a talent, or it's a fake it till you make it. Like there's a lot of these people in Hollywood and in the music industry who have absolutely no talent at all. I mean, they just suck. If I invited them over to my house right now and asked them to open their mouth up and sing, they couldn't. And that is because a lot of them are doing dark magic rituals and spells before they go on stage. They're also using synthesizers and auto-tune and all this fake. They're using all kinds of stuff to make themselves sound good, make themselves look good. They have dance teachers that work with them 24/7 because they weren't really born with dancing talent. They have to have somebody kicking their butt and training them 24/7 so they can do their little show on stage. Because typically the natural kind of dancers you will see doing more like the ballroom dancing or the ballet, not this, on the stage singing satanically derived music and, putting on these Illuminati, satanic Luciferian shows that have dark cult symbolism and, are basically brainwashing all the people watching them. So another reptilian-based creating involves using artificial intelligence to do all your creating. If you're using AI, that's all reptilian brain. It's not good. You're not connecting to God. You're not connecting to your higher self. You're not connecting to your heart chakra, because you don't need AI if you are flowing source in your higher self and your heart chakra through yourself. Now, doing a little bit of work using AI is one thing. Like if I needed to draw some geometrical shapes, and I'm not really good at drawing geometrical shapes, but I have to do it for a presentation, I might ask the AI to draw these shapes, but I'm not going to go and put those up in an art gallery and sell them. So you need to understand the kind of creating I'm talking about is you create with the AI and then you use that for profit, for material reasons, financial reasons, that kind of thing. Using dark magic or satanic rituals to create. That is all reptilian stuff. Using MK Ultra programming or brainwashing in order to create. There's a lot of these entertainers and artists out there who are all MK Ultra. You know, the three-letter organizations have been grooming them and mind programming them since they were little, or since they were born, some of them, or since they were teenagers. Using trickster practices and manipulation to create. Also, creating something because of a need to control and manipulate others, enslave others, creating for ulterior motives of any kind, creating something perverted or twisted or sexual or evil, people who create pornography, people who create horror, like horror movies that are really gory and disgusting, like Stephen King, those kind of people. And he is part of the dark cult, and he has been over to that island many times, and he is also a Satanist. So, and when you look at his eyes, or when I look into his eyes, pictures of him or in interviews, I do not see a soul. If there's anything in there, it's either a reptoid or a demon soul, one of the two. I don't see it's not a human soul in there. Okay, when you create something from the heart and Holy Spirit, you do it for the benefit and highest good of yourself and others. You put others' needs as important. You are tapping into your higher self and Father, Mother, God. I am consciousness. Your creation is coming from a soul level. Heart and soul-based creation is sometimes angelically inspired, or sometimes inspired by God or your higher self or your guides or angels. Sometimes it is inspired by people who you love or people who you look up to and admire. You know, for example, I created a healthy food product to put into the world because I first created it for my mom who had cancer, who needed to be on a keto diet. And now I've created this special food just for her and for other people going through cancer and other health challenges, because I'm doing a service to humanity when I'm creating that. I'm creating it from love because I respect and love my mom. And my mom is my, you know, she's inspiring me. I'm inspired by her heroic thing that she's going through. And by the way, my mom did actually pass away from cancer, but I wasn't able to create anything for her because she wouldn't listen to me. She lived 1,500 miles away from me, and she was a very stubborn lady. I loved her, but she was very stubborn, and she wouldn't listen to me. If I said, eat this, take this, do this, she wouldn't listen to me. Second, I'm going to drink. My throat's kind of dry. Okay. These two types of creating, the reptilian creating and the soul-based, heart-based, love-based creating, apply to literally everything on the planet Earth. Okay. I'm only just going to cover some of the things in this video today that they apply to. You guys can figure out the rest on your own. But I'm going to do a deep dive into the music industry since music's my first love. I sang with choirs going back to age, let me think about this, age 9. Age 9, I started singing with choirs. I started singing for people at age 5. And I've been singing my whole life. I live for music. Like, I don't know, I wouldn't be, put it this way, if I wasn't able to sing or listen to music the rest of my life, I wouldn't want to be here at all. I wouldn't want to be here because my life thrives on music. I thrive on music. So it's important to me. So we're going to go in deep dive to the music industry, but before I deep dive into the music industry, I need to kind of backtrack on some of this history. Just a second. And by the way, in this video today, I will be teaching you how you can do what you can do about this, okay? Because I don't just give you all the bad news and then let you go like other channels do, where they just give you bad news, but they leave you unsettled and they don't give you answers and they don't give you direction or help. I'm always going to give you homework to do. You know, what can you do to fix this? So I'm going to give you instructions on what can you do for yourself to do more heart-centered creating in your life. Okay, so before I go into the different ways these two types of creating affect our planet, I want to explain to you about the Draco reptilians and some of this stuff. So I asked Yeshua, do the Draco reptilians have any creative abilities at all, the actual reptilians? And he said, no, they do not, because they do not have a heart chakra, a crown chakra, or a third eye chakra. They do not have that, okay? They were created in the fourth density, which is like the demon realm, or what we call the lower astral, by demonic entities. I think Lucifer or who was it that created them? I'm not sure. It was like Lucifer or one of the fallen angels that created these guys in the first place. They were created in the lower astral, and so they don't have the ability, when they're in their reptilian body, they don't have the ability to create. So then I said, do demons have any creative abilities? And he said, no. And I said, what about if you take and you put a human avatar who has a soul inside of them normally, you take it out and then put in a reptilian, or maybe somebody is born in a physical body as a human, but they have a reptilian soul, which I've done readings for people whose family members, unfortunately, were those people. They were narcissist reptilian souls in a human body. So what Yeshua told me is, he said that if you put a reptilian soul into a human body, either at birth or after the fact, when they do these dark cult rituals in Hollywood and with the politicians and the royals and elites and people like your Gates and Soros and Klaus Schwab, all those guys, you know, when they do that, the reptilian soul can access the chakras of the human body, because that human body has chakras. It's one of the gifts that humanity has, all the humans. And it's also why the reptilians love to kill us, eat us, control us, you know, manipulate us. The reptilians have been here for thousands of years. There's statues of them all over ancient Egypt, all over every ancient culture. There's either pictures, documents, stories, statues, something with the reptilians in it, because they've been here. They hate us. We are their food. They eat us. They especially like to eat adrenalized humans. It helps them shapeshift longer. They have found that children and babies make the best snack for them, because it allows them, because when they have their adrenalized blood, they drink the blood or they eat them, they can look younger longer, they can live longer and be healthier, and they can shapeshift longer. So they've been on this planet a really long time. Yeshua promised me that every one of them is getting obliterated when the big event does happen. Every single Draco reptilian, not other types of reptilians, like I said, there are good ones out there. The bad reptilians that are in this universe, in this timeline, and in this dimension, they are going to be obliterated and recycled back to source, because they were created as an abomination. They're an abomination to God. They were created in the lower astral. They have no heart. They have no godly soul, heavenly soul in them. I mean, their souls are just pure black and evil. And they do not have a capacity for love, kindness, compassion, empathy, or connection to God. They don't even have that ability. They only know how to be connected to evil, fear, trauma, all all of that type of thing, malevolence, every negative thing you can think of. And they cannot be changed. They cannot be rehabilitated like a human soul. A human soul that falls down can come back up again. Okay. If you're a human and you do shitty things and you make mistakes in your life, your soul can be rehabilitated. Okay. And it can learn over multiple lifetimes. Reptilians don't have that ability. Okay. And that is because they lack the connection to God. And that's because human souls were created by God in heaven, just like God created angels, and just like God created elementals, and just like God created other positive types of things. But God did not create demons. God did not create archons. God did not create any negative entities at all, parasitic entities. None of that was created by God. The people who tell you that was created by God are lying to you. They are filthy, stinking liars. God doesn't create abominations. God only creates from love, of love, and for love. You are love. You are all love. You are made out of love. You can't create an abomination from love. You create abomination from evil and hate and fear and darkness. So all of the demons, when the event happens, all the demons in this realm, in this universe, will be obliterated and recycled to source. All the archons, all the parasites, and all the Draco reptilians, they will be annihilated. They do not get any second chances because they have literally gone from universe or a star system to star system for millions of years and enslaved the people on the planets, eaten the people on the planets, the humanoid people, and then blown the planets up. They did it in Lyra. They did it in Orion. They've done it all over the damn realm. Okay. They are out of chances. They were given enough chances to do that. It played a part in people's learning. It was allowed to go on for this long because it played a part in learning. But now all of the beings and souls in this universe are beyond that. We're all beyond that. And the beings of heaven have said enough. God has said enough. The angels have said enough. Sorry. I had like something in my mouth and it was driving me crazy. Sorry about that. I think it was a nut or something. I don't know. But anyways, God has had enough. They're being ended. They have no ability to ever change or ever become love. You can't turn Satan into love. It just can't happen. I'm sorry. That's a fairy tale that maybe the New Agers want to tell you. But it can't happen. Okay. So the thing is that what they do is some humans are born with a reptilian soul and then some get it put in. Now there's a thing where you see these celebrities, and they all have a black left eye. It's called the Black Eye Club. It is an ancient Egyptian and Babylonian ritual where they go through the optic nerve. They take out the soul of that human. It is ripped out of their body, the soul. It is put into, Yeshua called it, I talked to him about it. It's called a black box. He said it's like a prison kind of a thing. It's a soul. Where did I write this down? It's like a prison. Let me see what he said here. I wrote all his notes down. They use the human's chakras for creating. So what they do is they take out the human soul. They put it into, he said, a prison-like containment box. They're trapped in it for a very long time, almost forever, seems like. Excuse me. And they put a vril, the vril, which is like a reptilian soul, is the vril. They put a vril inside of that human. That vril is taking advantage of the human body and the chakra system that comes along with the human body. That's the energy. Now, remember what I told you in many past videos. The chakra system is just the interface, the computer interface between the energy body and the physical body. And anyone who has a body, mind, and spirit and is a humanoid will have a chakra system. All of the extraterrestrials, the good ones, the Galactic Federation, they all have a chakra system. The grays from Orion do not. Those little gray guys that come here and experiment on people, many of them are synthetic, many of them are clones, many of them are robotic, and even the organic ones that were created in their little test tubes, because none of them were really created through sexual intercourse or anything like that. They're like all test tube created. Those grays are also created in the fourth dimension, the lower astral realm, the fourth dimension, which is different from fourth density love consciousness. Don't mix those two up. They were created by the same evil, dark beings, Lucifer, Moloch, Baal, Belial, Baal, whatever his name is. There's a whole list of these guys that are bad guys, Belial, whatever you want to call these guys, Beelzebub, there's a whole bunch of names for these guys. They created the grays, they created the reptilians. So those grays also, they're also, and keep in mind, there are also other races of grays. They're not all bad either, okay? So there are some of these grays that were created in the lower astral, in the 4D. And I would say that the grays that are here in this universe are probably not good. I have not yet heard of one that was good. But anyways, what happens is once you stick a reptilian soul into a human body, that reptilian soul gains access to the chakras. So then it can do creating, because it's not able to create in a reptilian body. It has to create in a human body. But here's the problem. The things that it is creating are still an abomination, because remember what I told you about creating from a reptilian brain or a reptilian soul or reptilian influence? It's all malevolent. It's creating for control, creating for enslavement, creating for sex, for lust, for power, for money, for materialism, for evil purposes. None of the creating is going to be positive or good. It doesn't come from God. None of the creation that they are going to do, even though they're in the physical human body using the chakras, that creation is still not going to come from the heart, from the soul, and from the God connection, from the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. It's still not coming from that, okay? I asked Yeshua about the human souls, like Britney Spears and all these famous people you see who they've been plucked out and replaced. Beyonce, you've got a whole list of them. I've asked what's going to happen to all these entertainers and politicians and royals and whatnot that have been plucked out and replaced with the reptilian. What's going to happen? So Yeshua says, after the human body dies, the virile soul will wind up until the event happens, of course, those virile souls just go into another human body. They just keep going into new bodies and causing more chaos. After the event happens, that will no longer be allowed. They will not be able to reincarnate in a human body anymore, okay? However, what happens, I asked, well, what happens to the human soul that was trapped inside of this box? He said, unfortunately or sadly, they can remain trapped in there for a very, very long time. But he said, eventually, myself and the other Christed beings free the soul out of the prison and take it to Spirit Hospital for healing. So there is light at the end of the rainbow. So if you feel, or at the end of the tunnel, so if you feel sad for Britney Spears and some of these people, just note that once her physical form dies, her soul, which is in the box, eventually the Christed beings will release her from there and she will be ushered over to Spirit Hospital for healing. Okay? So that's some good news. So let's go back now to the different industries that I want to discuss and how these creations affect these industries. the music industry has the actual industry of the music was hijacked by, this is according to Yeshua, by the dark cult and deep state, as well as the three-letter organizations in the 1950s. As far as the music writers and singers go, the music sound and instrument were hijacked by the Nazis during World War II when they took the music from 432 hertz. Remember this thing? 432 hertz. They turned it into 440, which harms the body, causes dissociation, causes anger, causes violence, causes depression, deep depression, causes health problems. I mean, there's a whole list of what 440 does to the body, mind, and spirit, and it is not good. And that's based on research. That's based on science, actual science, lots of science. And esoteric information and psychic information too, but also hardcore science. So I got the idea for this video, of course, while listening to opera music and discussing, the heart side versus the dark side of music. So since the 1950s, not everyone in the music industry has been hacked or hijacked. You do have some good people in there. I will name a few offhand. I'm not going to name all of them. You can all use your brains and figure it out. Do some muscle testing, use a pendulum, use cards, whatever you want to do, but you can figure it out. Karen Carpenter, back in the 60s, 70s, something like that. She was a little earth angel. She was an earth angel, and her voice is healing. And when you listen to her sing, your body receives healing. Okay? John Denver, another one. You listen to him, your body actually heals. When I listen to him, sometimes I cry. Both of them, actually listening to them makes me cry. All right. There was a singer up in Canada. I forgot her name. She is, what is her name? She's got short hair and she was really famous in the 70s. Canadian singer, beautiful inside and out. She was another one, an angelic. These are all like earth angels, they were all part of the angel choir, and they, came into bodies, came into all of your opera singers. And this is versus people like Beyonce and J-Lo and all of these rappers, and also the people who do death metal and heavy metal and all this kind of stuff. That music is all created from the reptilian control, from the reptilian brain and reptilian control. And it also comes from the sexual organs as well. It's very sexual. A lot of the lyrics are sexual and sexualize women and children. Oh my God. Classical music, on the other hand, and spiritual music, spiritual singers like, what's her name? Maylin, I think it's her name, Maylin or Mylin or something like that. That kind of music is inspired by God and the angels, and the people who do the spiritual singing are choir angels incarnated into bodies. I mean, I'm one of those. My friend Stellar Fairbairn is another one of those. Maylin or whatever, she's one. There's a whole bunch of these. There's a whole bunch of beautiful women who I follow who sing spiritual songs on YouTube, and they're all incarnated angelics. Okay. So when you look at this other kind of music, especially in the last, I'll be honest with you, I do not listen to any music that was written or performed since the, I want to say 2010 maybe. So like the last 20 years of music, I don't listen to any of it because it's gotten more and more demonic, and they started actually doing a lot of mind programming. They started with the mind programming. The three-letter organizations found out, and the Nazis found out that they could put mind control stuff into the records. Even when they made the black, vinyl records, they could put mind control stuff in there. And when you play them backwards, it's a satanic stuff. And some of the lyrics, like from the Beatles and Led Zeppelin and some of the groups like that. And so as the years have gone on, and as we've had more of these, what they call the deep state has just grown bigger and bigger and bigger with their organization, and they've had deeper and deeper control on this planet over the last 20 years or more, last 30, 40 years, and really going back to World War II, they have turned a lot of the music into an abomination. And a lot of these groups a lot of the rock groups are part of the dark cult. My favorite kind of rock music is 70s and 80s music. I love 70s and 80s. Not all of those bands are part of the deep state or part of the dark cult. Not all of them. Okay. Sinead O'Connor, she was taken out by the deep state. Okay. She was good. There's a whole bunch of people from the 80s that are good, very, very good. Very, very, so, the way that they created came from their heart. They wrote their lyrics from their heart. Their musical creation came from the heart, from the soul, from God. The lyrics were really beautiful. There's a lot of bands. You've got bands like the Moody Blues. You've got bands like Electric Light Orchestra, Journey. They were not part of the dark cult or the deep state or any of that. In fact, poor Steve Perry wound up having to quit singing for a long time because of he got something wrong with his throat. And I believe 100% in my heart, after looking at him and analyzing him from a psychic point of view, he was attacked by the demonic realm, because that man, when you listen to him sing, you really get some serious healing. He had an amazing voice. He still does. He's singing again now. He came back and now he's singing. Doesn't sound quite as good as he used to. He can't really hit those high notes, but he's still doing pretty good. He's had a really hard life. The love of his life died of cancer. He's been hit a lot, and that's because he's another choir angel who's incarnated. And that's Steve Perry, the original lead singer of the group Journey. Amazing guy. Another one was the lead singer of Queen. He's another choir angel. He was taken out by the deep state. There's a whole bunch of them. Usually when they come in and they're creating from the heart, creating from the soul, creating from God, from inspiration from family or whatever, usually the dark cult will get a hold of them and try to manipulate them. And if they won't play ball with them, they will kill them. They will take them out. And so this happens. So you see a lot of these musicians that are really talented and amazing get taken out like crazy. They'll say, oh, they got cancer and died. No, they didn't. They were given it. They were, there's all kinds of ways to make people sick now. You can give them cancers. You can poison their food. I mean, there's just so much stuff. The doctors can even lie and say they had cancer, but really they were being poisoned. There's just so much they can do. So the entire music industry has been hijacked. How do you know that the music you're listening to is beneficial for you? Well, I would say any music you're listening to on the pop stations, and even country music has gone down the hole quite a bit lately. Anything country, pop, rock and roll, whatever. If it's written if it was produced in the last 20 years, it's most likely completely been manipulated somehow. Either the sound, the electronics, whatever has been manipulated for mind control, for dark purposes, for spells, dark magic, all kinds of reasons. They have twisted and manipulated the hell out of all of it. It's the worst in the last 20 years. If you want to go back and listen to music from the 90s, listen to music from like Kurt Cobain and that kind of stuff, from the 90s, you want to go listen to 80s, 70s, keep in mind that even some of those groups are infiltrated. For example, the Eagles used to be one of my favorite rock groups until I found out they were horribly infiltrated. You know, Henley is a card-carrying Illuminati who's been over to the island a bunch of times. He was also arrested in the past for doing bad things with, I think, a 13-year-old girl or something like that. He also knocked up Stevie Nicks and then abandoned her and forced her to get an abortion. And she was interviewed, and she said all this in an interview. And apparently, she has never been able to have a child because they screwed her up when they did the abortion. They did bad things to her and they ruined her. And she blames Don Henley for that because she said that if he wouldn't have forced her to go get the abortion, she would have been able to have children now. So she blames him, and she does not feel a warm fuzzies for him at all. She thinks he ruined her life. So anyways, that was the interview I saw. You could see that she didn't like him. Let's see. Trying to go back here. Look more. So let's talk about, let's see. The other thing is these modern singers that are here in the last, you know, like your Taylor Swifts and your Britney and all of them. They have absolutely no talent. I'm sorry, but as a classically trained singer and somebody that's been singing my whole life, I think their voices suck, okay? If I had them over to my house without using auto-tune and synthesizers and all that kind of stuff and electronics to make them sound good, they can't carry a tune worth beans, a lot of these groups, okay? So a lot of these modern singers, they have no talent at all. They're just taken and groomed from birth by the deep state to be little deep state dark magic pawns, you know, that they can go up on stage and do their rituals and cast spells on the audience and everyone watching. And they're just used. They're just little puppet pawns, basically, that are used by the deep state and by the Draco Reptilians. They write their music. Nowadays, all of these musicians write their music only for the purpose of fame, money, and power, not for heart-based reasons. Mozart never wrote a symphony for fame, money, or power. He was inspired by God. He was inspired by God, okay? Bach, inspired by God. Beethoven, inspired by God. Vivaldi, inspired. All of these composers and even artists, inspired by God, inspired by their heart. They were passionate. Their talent and their creation came from their heart chakras. No reptilian stuff involved, all right? They weren't doing it for money and power. I mean, Bach and all these guys, you know, like the Hallelujah and all that, he created all that to be performed in cathedrals, and he was not paid money to do that, okay? He was not paid money to do that. He wasn't rich and famous. A lot of these people, nobody even knew who they were until after they were dead. They never had any fame, and they didn't do it for the purpose of fame. They did it to glorify God. Back in the day, all of the music was sacred music. Music all over the earth was either for different religions, whether it was banging on drums in the rainforest with the indigenous, you know, music with didgeridoos and Australian outback, with your Aborigines, with Native American flute music. All of that was spiritually based. All the music on earth at one time was all spirit based, whether it was for spirituality or for a church, religion, whatever, it was all spirit based. And then these effing reptilians screwed it all up. Okay? It really pisses me off. So, where else do we see heart-based, where else do we see Draco Reptilian creating? The world financial system, 100% reptilian created. The whole system was created by the reptilians. The education system, created by the reptilians. The governments of the world, all created by the reptilians. The American Medical Association, created by the reptilians. All of the medical schools, created by the reptilians. Big Pharma, reptilians. Allopathic doctors, reptilians. All controlled. And all of those doctors who work in that industry, or I shouldn't say all of them, there's some who are actually decent human beings, like my neighbor, who is an MD. But a lot of them, especially the ones who are pushing the pokey in the arm thing, those guys all have the reptilian brain thing going on, man. They have total disconnect from God. Anybody who pushed that poke is disconnected from God. And all of the people who gladly lined up and took that thing, they are disconnected from God as well. They are under deep mind control, and they have had so much nano stuff put in them that they are just disconnected from God. No more connection to God. Now you do have, don't get me wrong, there are some people who took that thing who were forced into it and didn't want it. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people who, like my family, yay, who line up and can't wait to get one every 6 months and have had like probably 10 or 20 of those hokey pokies, in the last 5 years, they just can't wait to run out and get the next one, plus the one for the flu and the one for the shingles and the this and the pneumonia and the blah, 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 and on, because they're completely disconnected. All right. Now, there's a lot of people who took the hokey pokey because they were, how do you want to say, tricked. They were tricked. Now they are regretting it. They are regretting they took it because they're awake to what is going on. Those people are connected to God still. That is why they had an awakening and said, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have taken this. So anybody at this point who has woken up to, oh my gosh, I took this, it was a mistake, I need to get it detoxed out of my body, they're fully connected to God, source, creator, okay? The ones that are still mind controlled and lining up like crazy, calling me a crazy conspiracy, anti-veer, anti-poke person, whatever, like my family. Yay. Oh, yay. Isn't it so fun that I get to be all alone on planet Earth and my family is all jabbed up and probably going to hell. Yay. Anyways, sorry. It's just, I have to make light of it. I have to kind of laugh at it because what else am I going to do? Sit around and cry all the time? Sometimes I do cry, but right now I'm going to make light of it. They're stupid AF. That's all I have to say. They're the most stupid humans that I can ever be in association with. The fact that they've done this to themselves. All right. The holistic medicine industry, naturopathy, holistic, homeopathic, Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, Native American medicine, indigenous medicines, anything that is holistic, that is looking at getting to the root cause of a problem and then giving you herbs and healthy things, diet, life changes, whatever, to heal you, and not wanting to inject you and not wanting to put RX medications, because Big Pharma is all reptilian. The whole thing's reptilian. Those guys, holistic medicine, that is all inspired by God, comes from the heart chakra, comes from the soul, comes from the third eye even, comes from the crown. That is creation that is heart and soul and love based, because those people are here to serve humanity. They are the real healers. They are healers. People who are healers are all love based. People who came here to heal others are love based. People who came here to drug people and hospitalize people and do bad things to people, yeah, they're Draco-reptilian based. They are dominated by the reptile brain. They're disconnected from God, and they're being totally controlled and manipulated by the reptilians. Okay? The food industry, totally controlled by reptilians, with the exception of people who do create some organic foods. But here's the problem. A lot of these organic companies that start off with good intentions, wanting to help humanity and do something good, they get bought out by the reptilian companies. So there's very few of the organic companies out there that are small little companies that are struggling to get by that we can get food from that's actually really what we're supposed to have. You know, a lot of these, like Bragg is a good example. You know, when the Bragg, the guy, Mr. Bragg, who was a doctor, he was a naturopath, created, or a chiropractor or something, created Bragg's Organic Company. All of his stuff was heart-based, God, you know, he was a man of God. He was awesome Christian dude. His daughter took over. She was awesome. They both passed away. Guess what happened? It was bought out by evil reptilians. Yeah, Katy Perry bought it. Isn't that wonderful? She's got a vril inside of her. She had the black eye, and yeah, she's a vril. So anyways, you get these really good holistic companies that were, you know, God inspired. They were God. It was a creation that came from the inspiration of our creator. And then these reptilians get a hold of it. Just, you know, it's so shitty. You know, what can we do? I just throw my hands up. It's like, what can I do? All the governments, all reptilian. All the Abrahamic religions and some other religions too, and different cults, of course, all the cults, reptilian. ISLAM, reptilian. Christianity was created by the reptilians. Yeshua never wanted a religion created. Judaism, created by the reptilian. I mean, all these things were created by the reptilians. Okay. They were created to control and manipulate people. Every human on earth is supposed to believe in God, have a personal relationship with God and Holy Spirit, and your own Holy Spirit, and the angels, and so on and so forth, whatnot. Spiritual philosophies like Buddhism, that was a heart-centered religion. The Buddha, but reptilians have gotten into it and messed with it. Okay, there's, you'll hear stories where Buddhist monks were doing kitty fiddling. You'll hear, there's just a lot of stories. It's been infiltrated, but it was not created to be that way. It was created to, and to this day, Buddhism, I used to go meditate at the Thai Buddhist temple. I used to go to Vipassana, mindfulness meditation on Wednesday, listen to Rinpoche give his little talk and, you know, everything, and we'd have some food and everybody would chat, and it was wonderful. And all the teachings of Buddhism, 100% awesome. Why? Because it's the same teachings of Christ. Community, oneness, unity consciousness, helping each other, love thy brother like you love yourself. Do unto others as they do unto you. Love, compassion, kindness, forgiveness. That is what Buddhism is based on. It's just that parts of it have been infiltrated by the dark, because that's what they do. Okay, the demonic realm and the reptilians, the demons, because I forgot to mention all of these things were not just created and influenced by reptilians, but also the demon realm and the demons and Satan and Lucifer. So you got them involved in all this too. Okay. Because, oh, by the way, the reptilians worship the demons. They worship the demons, they worship Lucifer, and they worship Satan. Wicca, that is a heart-based, believe it or not. Now, I'm not talking witchcraft, bitches. A lot of you want to start accusing people of witchcraft. No, I'm not talking about witchcraft, which is like dark magic and spell casting. That's not what Wicca is. I have a laundry list of dear friends, even kind of family members in a way, actually actual family members, who are Wiccans. Wicca is a nature religion, and it's a connection to God, of course, and a connection to the elements and to Mother Gaia. And it is honoring all of the elements, honoring the earth, honoring the animals. Wiccans don't go and sacrifice animals. Wiccans don't go kill people. Wiccans don't go put vrills into people. Those are real witches. Those are your dark witches. A Wiccan is a different thing. Okay? They're Wiccans and wizards. I call them Wiccans and wizards. So you've got the female Wiccans and the male wizards. They are kind of like Dumbledore and Harry Potter and Hermione. Then you've got your Voldemort and what's her name? Beatrix, whatever her name is, or I can't remember her name. But anyways, what is her name? I can't remember. I forgot it. Anyways, the dark witch. You got the dark witches and the dark wizards, or the dark magicians, what are called dark magicians, or what are called dark warlocks. Those guys are, not good. Not good at all. Okay, those are guys in league with the demon realm. The Druid religion originally Druidism was also like Wicca. Was a nature religion connected to the seasons and connected to the earth and all that kind of stuff. But Druidism got infiltrated at a certain point by the dark, of course. Now you still have good druids and you have bad druids. You've got people to this day who practice Druidism and do very good things. Then you've got druids who have been corrupted, who are doing sacrificing, okay? So you get both. Then you have what we call shamanism, which is a Native American and indigenous from all over the world shamanism. Shamanism is 100% heart-centered, God-centered, light-centered, good-centered. It is good. Thumbs up. Okay? That's all good. That's all a heart-centered creation, all right? I think there was a famous psychic, I think it was Sylvia Brown or somebody like that, who was interviewing dead people on the other side. And basically what they found out from the people in heaven is that the closest thing to religion on earth, closest thing to heavenly religion on earth is shamanism. Shamanism. That is the closest thing to what is practiced in heaven, is shamanism. Okay? So there you go. A lot of corporations and businesses of all kinds of different kinds were created with reptilian brain, reptilian influence, demonic influence. Fashion industry can be both heart-centered, creative, and God creative. Like when you have these people you have women who are creating special bras for nursing mothers, or they're creating special kinds of undergarments or special kind of things for health, like clothing that's for health, or they're creating clothing that's made out of like linen and cotton and organic stuff, like healthy clothing companies that are like all organic cotton and linen and silk and all that kind of stuff. That's all heart-centered, God-centered, spirit-centered, versus certain fashion houses out of Paris, Milan, and Rome that are like Balenciaga, which is a satanic company. Totally reptilian. You've got a lot of reptilian fashion houses. Art industry is mostly heart and spiritual centered and comes from God. A lot of those people are born that way. Like my little daughter, who is literally a born artist. When she was 3 years old, she was already sketching and drawing pictures that look literally like a photograph. It just blew me away. She's similar to Akion Krameric, who created the Yeshua picture you see on all my videos. She was born with the skills. So most of the artists are that way. However, art started to get corrupted in the 1900s. In the 1900s, art started to get corrupted, and now you see pedophilia art, satanic art, malevolent art, dark magic art, just that kind of stuff. None of that was really a thing until the 1900s, okay? In ancient times, you did see a little bit of evil stuff mixed in, but it was very rare kind of a thing to see that. Very rare. All of the sexual stuff, all the perverted art, That's all reptilian. Everything that sexualizes women and children. Why do they have to have naked angels, like naked baby angels? That's kind of perverted. They could at least be covered with something, a chemise or something, for heaven's sakes, a little robe. Let's see. In ancient Pompeii, I went on a tour of Pompeii, which is near Naples, Italy, and it was totally wiped out by a volcano. I really believe that the people manifested that because they were doing orgy parties every day and sex with animals and anal sex and just disgusting, really sick, debaucherous people. When you tour Pompeii, almost every house you go through has plaques and pictures up on the, paintings on the walls depicting all the sexual positions. They were literally the most perverse people in history next to the Roman. The Romans were also doing the orgies and all that. Extremely perverse people. Why? Because they were reptilian and demon controlled. Okay. The entertainment industry, mostly reptilian, with the exception of American Family, Angel Studios, and similar kind of companies, some of the Christian production companies. The rest of the entertainment industry, it's pretty much all run by three-letter organizations, the reptilians, the demons, the pedos. It's vile and disgusting. Modeling industry. Don't even get me started. I was a model back in the 80s and early 90s, and I had to drop out because it's disgusting. It's, they get those girls addicted on amphetamines and drugs to keep them skinny. A lot of those models are raped. A lot of those models have to do sexual favors in order to get their jobs, both the male models and the female models, of course. A lot of them have been sent over to the island. It's 100% reptilian industry, that whole industry, 100% reptilian and demonic. It's a predatory industry that sexualizes people. There are many industries where you will find a mix of creations. Some are heart-centered and some are reptilian influenced, okay? Some of those are the auto industry, the food industry, the transportation industry, the housing industry. There's some people who design houses who are really nice people who are doing that because they're passionate, they're talented at doing house design. That's their thing. They want to build houses for people because they want to serve humanity in a good way. And then you get the ones who are in the house industry who are totally corrupt, who are doing corrupt shit for money, power, greed, materialism. And then there's many, 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 many more. So, drum roll, please. Or actually, we'll do a drum roll like this. Okay, there's our drum roll. All right, what can you do to make sure that everything you create in your life comes from your heart and soul and Father, Mother, Creator? First, ask yourself this question when you are creating something or doing something. Why am I doing this? Why am I creating this thing or this program or this system or this job or this item or this invention I'm making or this music I'm writing or this art I'm painting? Why am I creating this? Is it only for money purposes? Is it because I'm jealous of somebody and I have to show them up? Is it for competition? Is it for power? Is it for fame? Is it for getting attention? Why are you doing it? If it's for one of those negative things, then you're cut off from source. You better knock that shit off. Greed, all that kind of stuff. If that's why you're creating, then, you've got reptilians and demons controlling your little brain. Your brain is just cut off from God and you've got that reptilian brain thing going on. Or Ask yourself, am I doing this because I'm really passionate about it? I really love this. I'm really excited about it. It makes me feel, it fills me with joy, fills my heart with joy. And I want to help humanity, and this is helping humanity, and I'm serving people with this. Or maybe it's helping me to heal me somehow or something, or other positive reasons. So you want to make sure that whatever you are creating, it is for a positively polarized, beneficial reason, not a negatively polarized, demonic reason. When you create, allow the ideas to channel through your crown chakra from creator, through your heart, from your soul. Your soul creation comes from your heart chakra. That is where your soul is centered, in your heart chakra. Okay, that is where your soul is centered, in your heart chakra. So you want to create through the heart and not through your reptile brain. When you want to create with love and intention for good purposes, you don't ever create from the brain. When you go into your brain, which was created by the reptilians in a lab, you know, they edited the human brain to make it more reptilian. When you're in the reptilian brain and you're creating from a reptilian brain, then it is not going to be a positive thing. You want to create from your heart, from your soul, from your passion, from your love, from your joy, from God, from inspiration from family members, inspiration from friends, or a muse, or a girlfriend, or a wife, or a boyfriend, or a sister, or a brother, or your boss, you know, or angels, or your guides. You want to create from inspiration. You want to create from guidance. You know, you were guided to create this. You were guided by God. You were guided by Yeshua. The other thing you want to do when you're creating something, anything, you want to pray, you want to meditate, you want to ask God and your angels and guides for direction and guidance and support every time. All right? Always create with the intention to be of service to others. Whether or not what you're creating will ever be seen by anyone else or not, it doesn't matter. It's just that intention, that it's for the world. It's for the highest good of everyone. Everything you do needs to come from a place of love. Love for yourself, love from God, love for God, love for the earth, love for your family and friends and neighbors, love for all beings, all sentient beings, animals, cats, dogs, birds, and most of all, though, the love for yourself. When you create anything, your life, when you create anything in your life from a place of love, and you are passionate about this, and this is something Yeshua taught me, but my mother also taught me this years ago. She taught me this when I was a kid. When you create anything in your life from a place of love, and you are passionate about it, and you are being of service to others, which is what my mom did. She was a nurse. She was passionate about it. She loved doing it. She loved being of service to all of the moms she took care of in the obstetrics ward in the hospital, and all the babies she delivered. And she was never, ever, ever involved with abortion, ever. She did not believe in it. My parents were very conservative. Okay, so when you create anything in your life from a place of love, and you are passionate about it and being a service to others, you will always, always be successful. Unless you're getting blocked by someone or something. Now, if you're getting attacked or blocked, then you won't be successful, because you'll need to remove the blocks. But if you are doing all of that right, you're passionate, you love it, you're excited about it, you're being of service to others or intending to be of service to others, and you're not successful, that means something or someone is blocking you. So now I had this happen to me years ago. In the work I was doing, the spiritual work, it was like, okay, well, I'm here to be a teacher and I'm here to be a healer, but why is it not successful? I was being blocked. I was being blocked by past life stuff. I was being blocked by current life stuff, wrong belief systems, inherited shit through my DNA from my ancestors. I had demonic entities that were effing with me and blocking me so I couldn't step into my purpose. So I brought in a special dude. Yay. I wish I had him here with me. He's out in around the corner. I have a little statue of this guy. His name is Ganesha, and he was the son of the goddess Parvati and the god Shiva. And Ganesha is the elephant god from, and he was real. He actually came from Sirius star system. And he, because all the Hindu gods actually came from Sirius, that's where they came from. They were just high level, loving, very loving beings, and healers and teachers and amazing beings. Ganesha is known as the remover of obstacles. So if you need obstacles removed, you call him in. So I called him in. I worked with him, had a statue of him there to remind me of him. And guess what? He removed all my obstacles, and guess what? Oh, and then I worked on myself. I cleared my past life shit. I cleared my wrong beliefs. I cleared my inherited crap. All right. I did all that work. And then I went whoosh, like a rocket ship, like literally blast off. In fact, it blew me away how fast I took off. And that is how it should have been from the beginning. But I was blocked because of the sad reason that, yeah, you know, all these things happen. I also had entities that were blocking me. So Ganesha helped me with that. So let's see what else. So whenever I sing, it always is coming from my heart. Sometimes it's from my higher self. And so today, what I'd like to do is give you all, from my heart to yours, a heart healing. And wouldn't you know, my nose plugged up again. Damn it. I'm going to see if I can get it to unclog a little. Drinking ginger kombucha. Good stuff for your gut, by the way. Kombucha is like one of the best things for your gut. I literally healed my gut so much with that stuff. All right. I'm going to try to unplug my nose. This is going to be funny, but so if you have clogged sinuses, you can kind of do some Chinese acupressure, kind of work on all of the sinus points. So I may look funny doing this, but at least I'm teaching you how to do it for yourself. There's a spot right here you can press on. Do it for a while. Roll it around, rub it around. So funny. I don't know what color you guys are seeing me in on your computer, but on my computer, my lipstick looks red and my face looks yellow or green. My face is not yellow or green, and my lipstick's actually a pink color, and it's a bright fuchsia purple pink. It doesn't look anything like I'm seeing it on this screen. The colors are really bad. My hair looks pitch black, and I have auburn colored hair. But this is making me look like I have kind of like auburn brown. It's like dark. It's kind of a medium to dark brown with a lot of red. Same as my last incarnation. Try this. Okay, sorry, I'm doing it because I sing like shit when my nose is plugged. All right. Clear my throat there a little. All right, we're going to do some heart clearing. I hope I can sing. If I can't, sorry folks, I'm going to try. It might sound awful. So we're going to do Dona Nobis Pacem. That means God grant us peace. We're going to say Abun Dona Nobis Pacem. God grant us peace. And Abun was Yeshua's word for God. It means father, mother, God, basically in Aramaic language. That's what Abun is. It's Abba, which is father, and Wun, which is womb of the mother. It's the womb of the mother, and then the father mixed together. So it's Abun. That's the Aramaic name for God. So We're going to do Dona Nobis Pacem, which is grant us peace. I want you right now to close your eyes. For 32 hertz. I want you to close your eyes, put both of your hands over the top, cross them over the top of your heart space. Breathe in 3 long, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and send beautiful, bright light down into your heart space. Send beautiful, bright light down into your heart space. Sorry, I had to strike my tuning fork. Just breathe beautiful, bright light into your heart space. And what you're going to do is just breathe normal. After you do 3 long, deep breaths, you're going to breathe normal. Focus deeply on your heart space while I'm singing. And I want you to imagine that my voice is sending love waves directly into your heart. Just see the love waves from the sound of my voice going right into your beautiful, loving heart. Stay. May your heart be filled with love and joy and peace. Dona nobis pacem, grant us peace. Father, Mother, God. And so it is. In the name of Yeshua the Christ, it is done. Okay, thank you for joining me on this. Holy cow, it's so late. Oh my gosh. This is a long video. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this was interesting to learn about this creation from the reptilian brain versus the heart-centered heart space and love and God and Source and Holy Spirit. I hope this was educational and uplifting and informational for you. And my instructions for creating was helpful. And hopefully my voice doesn't sound awful because my nose is still kind of plugged. I think it plugs up when I'm sitting here and talking for a long time on video. It just naturally plugs up. So, and it's probably because I'm not breathing through my nose. I'm talking so damn much. I'm not like breathing in through my nose. So then my nose just plugs up. I think it's a reaction to that. I noticed a lot of other truthers on their channels, spiritual teachers, have the same issue. When I first started the video, my nose was wide open, could breathe fine. And then after I've been talking and yakking for a long time, I'm not taking a lot of breaths. So my poor little nose is just not doing what it's supposed to do and getting plugged. So sorry about that, folks, but thank you for bearing with me today. I love you all. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel and share it, because then it will get me up in the, what do you call it, ranks on YouTube, so more light warriors can see these videos. Do not share this though with non-awake people. They will hate it. Please do not do that. If you would like to contribute to my work, I have Buy Me a Coffee and my PayPal down below in the description. If you would like a copy of my newest Oracle card deck, or my only Oracle card deck, my new Oracle card deck, that is below in the description. And also links to my classes that I have. I've got like 14 of them up on my Learn It Live, maybe 15, something like that, up on my Learn It Live page, my teaching page, to help you with your ascension and becoming your own psychic and being able to answer your questions and heal your body and heal other people. I've got lots of teaching for that. So thank you so much, everyone. I love you all. And oh, my books are all on my website. The two you see, those are on Amazon because those are in print format. And then I have 2 PDFs that are only available on my website because they are too controversial to stick on Amazon. So you can get those on my website. And that is spiritualgrowthjourneys.com. Love you all. See you next time. Bye-bye.